live here in the Waitangi Island, the main port settlement here on the Chutnam Islands, the Catham Islands, right off the coast of the international dateline. We are here with the 10th ever edition of Demi SEA Weekly, a very special occasion today. We are not going to be using the current map pools, as you can sort of see right now. We are sporting in somewhere special. I am, of course, your host, Yaku of the Zaku, and no, wait, I forgot what my bit was. I'm here with Jet. Oh, Queen Alyx.
What is this accent? What the hell is that?
And New Zealand.
No, not even close.
Yeah.
No, I live here. It's not even
And
close.
you can back me up on that.
Oh my god. Anyways, hi. I'm doing good, and I'm ready to watch some StarCraft.
That we are, and we. Oh man, I'm physically brought back here, Alyx. I cannot tell you. I am brought back. We are starting things off on Catalyst LE. We're here in the top left-hand corner of the map, going 12 pool. We have representing Team Gen G. I remember what it was, but now I don't. He is all the way from the Philippines. We have Nuks. Genesis Gaming, that's what it was.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, the Blue Protoss player hailing from Australia, playing for Team Fight for Justice. We love this guy here at the Cranky Ducklings. We have, of course, the Duck of the Stars. It's StarDuck.
Did not even need a truck this time.
No truck, no truck. Don't need it. No truck.
Now, I'm wondering if StarDuck remembers this map, or at least remembers enough of this map or not, because he was around during the time where Catalyst was in the map pool. However, at the time, he played Zerg, fun fact.
Ah, yeah, so this might be a bit weird for him now that he's playing Protoss. Though seeing the maps this week, he might have done a bit of practice, perhaps, with somebody. It's possible, or, you know, it's also entirely possible that, you know, people weren't that prepared. So it'll be interesting to see for sure.
Yeah, definitely will. It's kind of weird. I have to imagine, like, you know, I'm imagining what the meta is right now, right? And PvZ and stuff like that. Would Stargate still be as effective? Well, I have to imagine so.
I mean, we're still playing on the same patch, so as usual, it's just on the old map. Unfortunately. I still expect the Void Rays to come out. But yeah, no, this should be interesting, as we have Nuks going for the 12 pool. Usually, you see the defensive 12 pools in ZVP, especially from the Southeast Asian plays, but here he's just going on the attack, and he's actually going to get the cyber.
Out that cyber core. Yeah, I am not expecting the Void Rays anymore. Let me tell you, Alyx. But Nuks is back away in time. So, yeah, StarDuck still has a lot of room to recover.
Yeah, he should be able to recover from this, but I don't think he can go into something as, you know, as, you know, like a Stargate opening, since it's been delayed like this. Though we will see. We will see once the Cybercore comes back up.
Yeah, meanwhile, on the other side of the map, we're just sort of looking for how Nuks decides to follow this up on. Now, getting pylon block like this, always annoying, even if you are going for a 12 pool like this. On a map like Catalyst, though, man, this was back in the day. This was back in the day where people didn't care about how close or far apart Zerg bases were. Yeah,
and nowadays we've learned a lot more. Meta's just changed a little bit, and yeah, there's definitely a heavy importance on like having the natural be your natural as Zerg, seeing as it makes it easier to defend, especially with the way things work at the moment. And we have a proxy gateway, I imagine, for harassment.
I'm loving it. Do have the Stargate still being built way back in the natural base here for StarDuck. I was half expecting him to just proxy everything else out across the map, you know, really make Nuks think that he's really that far behind. But no, he is still, you know, trying to make it look like he's playing a normal game.
Yeah, just playing
Yeah,
out
for
a
the most part,
standard
he is.
game. Yeah, he's just got that proxy gate. Probably just gonna throw out a few zealots and things like that to harass the bases. Especially with the fact that Nuks had to take the third as his natural, so he's still saturating it, and it's all the way over here, quite exposed. Especially to where the gateway is. Yeah.
And that was all intentionally planned here from StarDuck.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if he decided to go for this as a response to the 12 pool, or if he already had this, pre-planned, but I'm leaning towards the latter.
It's entirely possible it's pre-planned, but also, as a response to that 12 pool, he needs to find some way to get ahead, and yeah, having his Stargate delayed that much by losing the Cybercore definitely puts a dent in the plans a little bit.
That is a quick forge being thrown down here for
It
StarDuck.
is.
He is
It
looking to get a ton more gateways, hit some kind of timing.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, he's got this gateway over here to reinforce if he needs to. Like he doesn't even need a warp prism for this.
I have a hypothesis, Alyx. Tell me if you agree with me. Do you think back when StarDuck played Zerg, he just encountered this many, many times, way back in the day, and now he's finally having his revenge?
I mean, could be. It could be like just remembering this strat and be like, oh, you can do this on this map. Because I mean, this map is good for it. Looking at the way that the third is, like, it's really exposed. Uh-oh.
Which Nuks is demonstrating, yeah.
Yeah.
Quick cancel here from StarDuck. Meanwhile, he is starting to move in with every single one of his adepts. He's moving in with his Void Ray as well.
Yep, just 6-7 adepts and a void and a couple of void rays should be able to just easily evacuate the space. And there's only really links and queens here. The roach swarm did come up, but I don't see any roaches in the production tab just yet.
Yeah, but unfortunately, not quite enough SimCity here for StarDuck to make use of. Is forced to back away and recall. And Nuks, when it's all said and done, he lost a couple of Zerglings and not much else. Didn't even lose a queen.
Yeah, no, he managed to make that work quite well, just with the sheer number of lings he had lying around from that attack on the third. So he's going to go for an attack.
He sneaks in. Look at the surround Alyx! Even with the force field, it does keep most of the army alive. But, oh man, that was way more damage than Nuks should have got.
Yeah, he manages to get the surround, and even with the force field to split things up a little bit, he does manage to get quite a bit of damage onto the army there.
But the turns are soon about to be tabled here, Alyx. Charge is currently on the way, +1, just about halfway done. Scariest part for StarDuck, though, he does not have this base up and running. He is focusing everything on getting this up.
Yeah, he's 7 minutes into the game, and his third was cancelled once, and it's only just now going to come back up. Something interesting I noticed. Never mind.
Go on.
Ignore that thought. Ignore that thought.
No, yeah, I thought it was pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's an interesting thought. Anyways, another couple of adepts. Just kind of poking in.
I may not have known what it was, but I'm sure it was interesting.
I thought I saw something that I didn't.
Ah, man. Hate when that happens.
Yeah, you know, it happens all the time.
Usually I'm playing a game and I think my opponent's getting Templar Archives, see it on the map, then it turns out they were getting an Ultra Cavern. Got goes for nothing. Anyway, StarDuck is starting to look at a pretty good position here. His own Templar Archives is up and running, and he's starting to get them Archons. He is, so long as he's able to maintain this base, ideally he'd want to get a 4th base up and running as well, just have his economy nice and stable. He's looking pretty set. This is just a Roach Ravager army coming down from Nuks. But it is a massive army. Look at an army supply difference.
Yeah, he is way ahead in the army supply, and even on just 3 bases, he's making it work, and he's got the March of the Queens. That's a lot of queens, actually.
Efficiency. That is a lot of queens. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, he just has so many queens, and, you know, just doing the standard little queen push here against the Void Rays as is become quite popular. Backing up, pulling the Void Rays a little bit away from that super battery, actually. Though now forcing him back towards it.
Yeah, you can definitely tell that this was map mate before battery overcharge was a thing.
Yeah, that's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, not entirely ideal for the Protoss player to really heal up. And it looks like Nuks is really starting to hammer in. A lot of his main forces have been whittled down, but there are just so many links coming in to reinforce. Look at those Biles landing on the Void Rays, Alyx.
straight onto the Void Rays with the Queens on the backup as well. There's still a good number of units here as the Lynx come flooding in to reinforce. He should be able to take out this third base and, you know, deal just a massive blow to StarDuck's economy here.
This is almost game-ending damage at this point. StarDuck, he's been on 2 bases for just so long. He's still alive, he's still breathing, but how does he come back from here and find a way to victory on 2 bases? Again, this is a Zerg player who's about to get their 4th base up. 30.
Yeah, I mean,
wow.
I mean, not only is he so ahead in army supply, like the fact that he's almost 2 bases ahead, even for a Zerg, that's pretty good, especially for a 2-basing Protoss.
To say the least, yeah.
Yeah, this is not looking good for StarDuck. Like, at this point, taking down the front wall, taking down the cyber core almost at this point. Like, this is just game. He's just game-ended him. It's checkmate.
Yeah, I'm just watching StarDuck spend his bank over and over again, and each time, you know, he doesn't quite have the income to really supplement that. He is trying to harass here with his zealots, but we're really starting to see the economy of Nuks pull its weight. He has so many lings, he can afford to use them as defense.
Yeah, he can just afford just so many lings, so many roaches and ravagers. Like, look at the ravager count. That's ridiculous.
This is an excessive amount of ravagers, Nuks. Calm down.
Yeah, a lot of ravagers.
This is...
like, he's already dead.
GG is killed. Nuks will be taking game number 1. Once again, having this little rivalry of theirs going back and forth. Nuks and StarDuck, that is.
Yeah, good game overall. And we'll be moving on to the second map, which I believe...
Double check what that is. Daybreak!
Daybreak. Ooh, it's a spicy one.
I almost made the lobby on Def Aura. They both have these. Listen. I'm assuming this is the right run. It's Daybreak LE bracket or parentheses rather void, and it's made by Blizzard.
Yeah, should be.
I'm guessing this is the right one.
Yeah, just go with it. And hope it's correct. It's probably right.
The last time I did that, Kuro fired me, so...
It's probably correct.
Kuro in with a little bit of... Yeah. It just means that it's a Legacy of the Void map, so the mineral patches, there are only 16 workers to saturate it.
That's right. That would make sense.
So again, Daybreak is a Wings of Liberty map. Kuro actually coming in, telling us that way back when Daybreak was in the map pool. Fun fact, Kuro still played Protoss.
Damn. Still played Protoss. Back in the day.
Like the reverse StarDuck.
Yeah. And I mean, StarDuck is just a jack of all trades. I mean, I remember a few months ago he was talking about how he was laddering on Terran too. So he's done it all.
It's always beneficial to, you know, just off race, get a little bit more understanding, make yourself a bit more of a well-rounded player.
Yeah, exactly. And at the level that StarDuck has been playing, like, he's competing with pro gamers. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised seeing him get picked up in the near future, considering how fast he's improving. So it's understandable that he's working on that off race as well.
Looking at you, team owners.
Yeah, if you need an Aussie player, a Protoss player who's both good at aggression and at macro, you know, StarDuck's a guy.
I'm just saying, man, Probe, he is, well, he's not retired yet, but, you know.
He's on the way out. He's a bit old.
Half his foot's off the door.
Yeah.
Do you see Nuks around anyway? Oh, there he is. I'm guessing just working the VPN.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Again, it's something I will never understand because it's a little bit outside my area of expertise, but in my experience, when I use a VPN, my ping gets doubled when I'm playing online games.
You need to use a specific VPN, like specific types of VPNs, because some of them don't work well with games. They increase your ping, but then there's some that you know, decrease it. Like Mudfish is what Seether recommended me, and it's done quite well.
Yeah, it's those trade-offs, right? What do you want from your VPN? Do you want better ping, or do you want to watch different Netflix regions?
You can have more than one VPN.
What?
Yeah. Just have multiple programs installed. They don't need to be running all the time.
I was not aware of that.
God damn it. I think I have the brain cell today.
We already knew that before we started.
That's true. I mean, to be fair, we are both here, so, you know, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it's working double time. As we spawn in here onto Daybreak, come and we want to go home. We are starting things off here at the top right-hand corner map, spawning all the way to the top right-hand corner of the map. The Blues player. He has not even played on this map before, you guys. He is so new to StarCraft, and by new, I mean he's been playing for a couple of years. Representing Genesis Gaming from the Philippines, going 12 pool once again, we have Nuks.
And spotting in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, the red Protoss player. I'm not sure if he's played this map either. I don't think so. It's probably the fourth time too.
Yeah, well, not when it was in the map pool. He might have played a custom game or two.
Yeah, probably not when it was in Wings though. But here he is, hailing from Australia, currently playing for Team Fight for Justice. He is, of course, StarDuck.
Doing what StarDuck does best.
Yep, that sure is a forge.
So this is a counter to 12 pool.
Yeah, you just cannon rush them.
Not long. I am so curious as how this is gonna work out. That would have shut down. That would have completely shut down StarDuck's plans.
Those lings were move collect. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh, well, I'm completely fine with this, Alyx. We are getting some shenanigans going on.
Oh, but he sent a ling out to check on it. Yep. I mean, there's already links at the front, but there is a cannon here that should help him defend his cybercore.
Oh, StarDuck is supply capped.
Oh no.
A little bit of a bother. A cannon does not have that much DPS here. And it will, in fact, go down. This is such an autosive pylon. I don't want this to be how the series ends, Alyx.
No, that would not be good. He has to pull the boys here to keep the pylon alive. He does have a backup pylon come on, but it does not power the cyber core. But that is no matter, as he's still able to make his adept. And hopefully with the boys.
Thing, but, oh dear. That's 9 dead probes, though. I'm pretty sure Nuks is satisfied.
That's some pretty good damage for a handful of lings. Like getting that pylon, shutting down the cyber core, and killing 9 probes. Like that is a lot of damage.
I only now realize the ramifications of not repowering that cyber core. It means that gateway tech is going to be such a long ways off. Meanwhile, Nuks is already transitioning. He's droning.
Yeah, he's just straight up droning. He is making a few lings, but it's probably more for defense against the adept since he lost most of his lings.
Yeah, you always want to play it a little bit safe in these scenarios. It's like the safety tank of Zerg, really.
Yeah, pretty much.
Except it's like a mobile tank that has a lot less health.
Yeah.
And doesn't do splash damage.
That adept took out 3 drones though, not too bad.
Yeah, some really nice target firing, all things considered here from StarDuck, doing whatever he can to, just come back in this game. A little bit worried with how his supply is looking, but he is working on his next phase. He's getting that Stargate as Nuks is just being very greedy.
Yeah, I mean he's 7 probes down. Like at this point in the game, like he's really far behind. He has a lot of catch-up work to do.
But I'm pretty sure StarDuck, he is well aware of that. He's just looking to turtle up on these 2 bases, really make use of that chrono boost. I almost said chrono charge. Just get as many probes out once again. Yeah, I was trying to combine battery overcharge with chrono boost. Imagine chrono charge. No, battery boost. What does that even mean?
What? What are you saying? You're
it's
just
like a
saying
rechargeable
words.
battery.
You're just saying
Look,
words and none of
sometimes
them mean anything.
Look, eventually it'll make sense.
No, I don't think so.
You ever heard of the monkey on a typewriter? Not paradox, the other word. Infinity thing?
The monkey on a
the
typewriter
brain.
theory that eventually it'll type out the... Yup.
Yeah,
I
eventually
mean,
it'll type out the best of times, the worst of times.
That sums up your brain.
It does.
Took you a while to type that sentence out.
Did. I was on 2 words per minute there. Interesting that
Yeah.
StarDuck decided to go for a robo facility this time, but okay, I think he's counting on Nuks doing the same thing as last game, going pretty roach heavy, which he is at the time being. Kuro, I think I know where he... No!
Gets scouted, he sees the Ling elevator.
Man, that would have been beautiful.
That would have been cool. Would have loved to see
But this
that.
is StarDuck really working on, really working on every angle, thinking what is the one way that Nuks can really come back in this game. Cancels the Roach Warren in favor of a Hydra Den. This puts StarDuck in a lot of danger to Alyx.
Yeah, I think he was expecting like a push coming out, but he's noticed that StarDuck is mostly playing passive, trying to catch up. So he's like, okay, I'll just put on a Hydra Den, play for the mid game. Don't want to get stuck on Roach Tech because Roach Tech is very easy to get, like locked in on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So
Very useful
starting
by
off
a
with
Protoss
Hydras.
player.
Yeah, starting off with the Hydras is very good, especially against the Stargate comp. Though we do have a Robo base, so I guess he must be thinking about getting, Colossi and Disruptors.
Yeah, if I know StarDuck, then I'm leaning more towards the Disruptor play, especially if he still thinks that Roach Ravager is coming out. But Colossus wouldn't be a bad idea to get here. It is, I don't see any Baneling nests here. It is straight up just Hydra Ling coming up from Nuks, taking a page out of Micah's book. There's the Baneling nest.
As you said it, you manifested it.
That's my power, guys.
You have power?
Well, to imagine I do. Kuro lets me handle a couple of things and it makes me feel important.
Yeah, she just does it to
Mostly
boost
it's
ego
just
a little bit.
Yeah, she tells me I can do the dishes, and it makes me feel like I'm in charge.
Just validates your here.
Without me, you would not be able to eat. Really focusing on the sky upgrades here, StarDuck is.
Yeah, I think he wants to get. Yeah, he's got the second Stargate coming up, so I imagine he's gonna go very heavy into air, and then for the ground, he's gonna be more focused on like that AOE stuff with the disruptors.
I kind of like this, Alyx, but the reason why I like this is because it's kind of a gamble. He is really hoping that Nuks doesn't go for the start base.
Oh, and here he is. He's got Lings, and they got past. The army is in the middle of the map right now. Is not able to respond. He's only able to warp him 1 Zealot right now to defend against these Lings, and he might force a cancel here. In fact, I think he will. Yeah, he does.
I think you can really tell that this is a map that was made, what, 9-10 years ago?
Considering how much space there is, yeah. And the fact that there's so few bases.
Yeah, this was when the game was definitely a lot slower.
Yeah, this was a time when the game was decided on whether you go Rax first or CC first, basically.
Mostly I just remember this map for net game MVP 1111 Squirtle on.
Yeah, those were certainly times.
Yeah, the good old days. I wasn't around for them, but man, I liked watching them VODs. They were pretty cool.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I go back and watch these old Wings VODs all the time too. But yeah, StarDuck moved across the map, hoping to harass, but he sees just so many Hydras and Queens, and he just doesn't want to go anywhere near that.
Yeah, definitely the better, safer choice here. I do like that StarDuck is focusing on going into his late game, because again, the general consensus now is that when the Protoss player gets to that late game, it's pretty hard for the Zerg player to really do much against. It's just, getting to that point that
it's why
some Protoss players have difficulty with.
Yeah, it's why we see these taxi builds. You want to kill them early before they get up the Sky Toss, but the carriers, they're on the way.
Indeed, they are. There are a lot of Hydras, which is not the direct counter to carriers, but definitely a solution.
I
I don't see any infestors, so which is
Oh, he wasn't paying attention. He wasn't paying attention. He didn't see it. And the drop
he
disruptor.
pays the price.
Yup, but we got a Bane drop going here. I haven't seen a Bane drop in a while.
Yeah, I can't say I have either. I feel like the Void Ray buff has really sort of discouraged drop alert play recently. You know, it's just a lot easier for just missing that Nova. Nicely done here, but yeah, the drop alerts are in. The Void Rays are nowhere near in sight. That is already 8 probes going down, and look at his vulnerable mineral. Alyx, the Sim City working against StarDuck's favor. Okay, it's not that bad.
Yeah, he does manage to pull them out, but he will lose a few more. And man, not expecting that one.
Yeah, it was definitely one of those scenarios where I was imagining the worst possible outcome here, but StarDuck managing to avoid that nicely.
Though there's not a lot of ground army here, or StarDuck, or army at all. Like, there's just so many banelings.
Funnily enough, these banelings going back and forth, just sort of taunting StarDuck over here, and they kill so many probes. Shield batteries can't help you against instant damage. That's what I always say.
Yup, basically. And meanwhile, the rest of the army taking out the front of the natural, doing a bit of damage, but not too much. The cannons and the Void Rays able to push back Nuks here and able to hold.
Yeah, StarDuck is able to have a little bit of breathing room, but again, I'm just looking at the work account here, Alyx. It is not looking too well for StarDuck. He had a very good plan of just, you know, holding out on as many bases as he can, you know, hold on to and trying to rush into the late game, but now...
Hold on against this.
Yeah.
It's not the cannons.
Likely.
Yeah, and there's quite a few Hydras here. He's gonna have to dodge the disrupt shot. Okay, only gets 3 Hydras. But this interceptor count, it's actually not too bad for the time being. Oh, another big disruptor hit. StarDuck actually able to hold.
Yeah, Nuks is doing a pretty good job of just whittling down these interceptor counts for a while. It was literally just 1 carry full of interceptors left, but he just does not have the means to dodge these disruptor shots. And every time that does, these carriers, they just get that much more effective.
Yeah, the less Hydras there are, the more interceptors there can be, and the more damage they can actually do.
Starting to see some Vipers coming out from Nuks here, taking the much more orthodox approach with dealing with Sky Toss when you go Hydras.
Trying to yoink them over the Hydras, get a bunch of damage. The disruptor drop, looking for any kind of damage, checking the fog.
Yeah, nicely done. It's been a while since we've seen the Zelnaga tower. That was hidden by smoke like that, but yeah, the fog of war, that's what it's called.
Yeah, you don't see that anymore.
I kind of wish we do.
It's definitely it definitely makes it a little bit easier to hold a Zelnaga tower because you never know what's in there. you gotta face check it.
Yeah, sometimes it's like 5 lurkers. 3 tanks. Just walk right in.
Oh, speaking of walking right in.
That wall is not in fact a wall, and these Lings are looking to wreak havoc. This is where most of the production of StarDuck is. Forced to recall, and I'm just looking at the northern base here for StarDuck. These Lings avoiding these carriers. Not the entire army was recalled. Very nicely up here for StarDuck.
What the disruptor hit?
Aye. That was half of the Hydra count being taken out here. Nuks having a little bit of trouble with ping here. Yeah, it is kind of hard to split. We're on the Australia server here, so it is a little bit tougher here for Nuks. We're sort of alternating servers back and forth.
Yeah, I imagine it'd be hard to split with 300 ping against a player with probably like less than 20.
Yeah, well, you never know with Australia.
Yeah.
You could be living in the city and still having something like 150 ping.
Aussie ping. It's the Aussie internet.
Yeah.
Absolute garbage.
Just like drop bears.
I'm gonna gloss over that one.
Posturing around here towards the north. I'm not quite convinced that Nuks has what he needs. He's gonna have to have the most perfect yoinks in the world.
He does get one. Yeah, he does get one of those carriers, but it took him 2 yoinks as he was backing away. Oh, he gets
the prism.
Yeah, the prism. That's really big. Taking out 2 of the disruptors there, and the mobility of the disruptors.
Exactly. You just cannot escape Nuks like that. He will make sure he gets his target. Unfortunately, using up quite a bit of the Vipers. Getting a second Spire over here. I want to say he's going to be focusing on a Skyzer. Another beautiful hit.
Those
Ping
massive hits.
really working against Nuks' favor.
Yeah, like being unable to split against these Raptors is gonna be just awful.
Definitely is. To be fair, it's also a little bit questionable that Nuks is starting to be aggressive without having his Vipers in position, without having those Vipers with the MG that they need. And funnily enough, StarDuck, you know, he's not quite at the economy that he wants. Nuks is still very, very far ahead. But StarDuck is actually getting to the late game that he wants to get to.
Yeah, he's for being on like 40 probes for so long, he's been able to make it work somehow with how little income he has. Like he's still sitting at only 50 workers at 15 minutes into the game.
We say somehow, but really it's the disruptors.
Yeah, those
the MVP
disruptors.
This game.
They're so cost efficient. Like this game, they've been so incredibly cost efficient.
Alright, Nuks really starting to get to the next phase of the game. Realizes, you know what? Hydras, they are ground units. You know what disruptors can't hit? Sky units.
Corruptors.
Yeah, I'm liking the thought process here.
Those dudes fly. It's smart.
Really is.
Yeah,
There's some IQ plays coming down.
Yeah, the sheer amount of damage too that a corruptor can do if you're focus firing on carriers. Like if he just focuses purely on the corruptor micro, he can really do a lot of damage to these carriers, especially once he gets +2 at least. Like he should be able to do some damage as
Chucking around. Oh, just sort of trying to bait this army.
Yeah, he must bait him into an unfavorable position and get a good yoink on one of these carriers, and absolutely decimate one of them.
Yeah, what worries me at the moment for Nuks is that he seems to be moving out with, you know, small groups of his armies. He would absolutely decimate StarDuck if he fights with everything he's got, you know, his Corruptors, along with his Banelings, along with his Hydras, but it's just sort of sharking around at the moment, just waiting for his upgrades to finish up. That's a lot of damage.
That's 21 probes going down. That's a lot. That's not something StarDuck can afford to lose. He's on 30 workers.
Fun fact, StarDuck has lost 54 probes so far this game.
Oh my god.
Hey, Dios mío. If I've ever said one. If he still had those probes, he'd be at such a healthy economy. But Nuks just doing such a good job of keeping that economy low.
Yeah, I mean, he's mined out of gas in his main. And he's only on 3 bases. He hasn't been able to expand. And, oh, is he looking to piss on a building? Wait, is this a base?
Yeah, these bases are so close to one another. I just realized, this is a Wings of Liberty map, yeah.
Yeah, you never expand out past like 4 bases, but whew, Nuks has quite a few.
He definitely does. He is. What is the point beyond being on your opponent's side of the map? He is in his opponent.
Yeah.
You punch through.
He's in him.
Or something like that.
That's how you want to phrase that, huh?
Yeah, you know. Just getting real close. See if we're gonna get another base, Nuks.
Yeah, he wants to get space.
Calm down.
He wants to get every base in the map. There's so few bases on Wings of Liberty maps. I mean, it's entirely doable to get every single base in the map. Ooh. Okay.
Pretty good, bad. Nova. Not that bad. Yeah, not that bad. This one, though.
That one was
pretty
painful.
good.
Yep. And StarDuck just has a really, really strong army, and it's all together. Like, he's not splitting his army at all. Oh, good yoink, though.
But now he's starting to yoink. He absolutely is. Oh, these feedbacks. No. I did not even realize StarDuck had the Hydras High Templar in his army, and neither did Nuks. Little bit too reckless of his Vipers, said he pays the price, but now he's focusing on Neural Parasite, ?
He doesn't have any infestors. Hello?
Well, assuming you're on the way.
I can do him. Yeah. It would definitely help against the, you know, if you can Neural Parasite a couple of carriers.
I'm really digging the Strike Force of Hydras. You thought Link would run by is what you wanted. Nah, it's Hydras. Especially when you're, you know, planning to focus more on your Sky army. Is continuing to pump out more and more Corruptors.
Yeah, he's definitely going for that slightly older school style of late game Zerg army. You know, that you would see more, you know, towards the beginning of 2020, end of 2019, you'd see a lot of these Corruptor Viper Infestor comps. Just Corruptor Infestor in general, with Broodlord Infestor. Kind of hitting in that direction a little bit. It's a lot of creep tumors. Even
really
I don't make that many.
It's kind of looking like a mushroom or an umbrella. Kind of like an umbrella.
I'm not gonna question
See
that.
a lot of Braille here, along with the spore crawlers. Everyone beat Braille.
I'm just gonna nod my head and continue.
Much like these Hydralisks, just looking to, just expend his supply here. Nuks is focusing on not really spending his larva. Not quite maxed out. Funnily enough, StarDuck is starting to be maxed out on 50 workers.
Yeah,
not
even
50 workers. That means he has such a massive army.
Yeah, having this few workers does mean he has much higher army count, but it is very difficult to get there.
I'm just so confused with how this game has panned out so far, Alyx.
Yeah, I mean, it's just because of how cost efficient with his trade StarDuck has been. Like, he's been out trading so hard the entire game that having such low income, it's got to the point where his army is able to just build up eventually.
Absolutely has. For a while I was going with the idea that, once that Ling run by hit at the start of the game, Nuks just snowballed all the way, but we're getting to a little bit of a different point. Really nice feedbacks.
Oh, the feedbacks. Yeah, the fungal onto
so much trouble. It still takes a pure, but they do go down. No more feedbacks left here for StarDuck.
There's one high tempo left. That's it.
And doesn't even have that much energy.
Yeah, no, he can get like a couple of feedbacks off, but not enough to one-shot a Viper like he's been doing. And man, this is like taking me back to when I first started like playing and watching StarCraft, to what the late game Zerg was back then. You got the corrupted Broodlord Infestor. I mean, we haven't seen this in a while ever since the Broodlord changes.
I'm so sorry that was your foray into StarCraft 2.
Listen, I enjoyed it because I'm weird. Listen, I like Broodlords.
Well, they flap. Their wings.
They do flap.
Like
That's
rays,
true.
Look at that,
You're right. That is something they do.
Wait and get the ground army. Oh, this could have been disastrous for Nuks if he gets caught out. If he's caught out. So just taking out so many infestors.
Yeah,
Nuks, you gotta be so much more careful.
Yeah, he's really picking off these infestors really nicely, clearing out some of the creep with the disruptors, poking out, looking for some shots. That is all. It's just a spore forest over here.
Yeah, this is the ideal late game composition for Zerg, at least when it comes to dealing with this style of Sky Toss. Again,
yeah, I mean,
coming back in late 2019, early 2020.
Yeah. I mean, the infestor count and the corruptor count especially is massive here, which is really good when dealing with this many carriers, but man, those disruptor shots are relentless.
They really are. StarDuck just being, as I said, relentless with him. He has so many disruptors, he can't afford to just waste, or not really waste Novas. He's still getting a little bit of damage done. He's just chipping away at the Spore Force, because to be fair, there's not much you can really do at this position to really make, really take much ground.
Yeah, this is kind of a stalemate, but not exactly, because StarDuck is still poking and trading with those disruptors, whittling down the Spore Force a little bit.
Yeah, you thought we were back in 2019? I'm feeling back like we're in 1918.
Huh?
Stalemate. As more and more purification Novas are coming in, I'm just loving how he's just sort of throwing them out. It's bound to hit something.
I'm still speechless from that,
based on
not
how
gonna
this
lie.
army is at. High Templar count has been remade. There's so many. Oh, but the fungals, but the shield batteries though.
From downtown. Oh, that was a long shot. Oop, he's gonna go for a yoink. No, he's not. He doesn't want to get feedbacked into the stratosphere.
Yeah, again, he has to be so careful.
Yep.
Oh,
yep, there goes.
Almost
there goes
getting a yoink there. But yeah, every single one of these Vipers have been just about taken out of commission. Does not have the energy to use them. But again, double benefit to the Spore Force. You can just slurp up some energy.
Yeah, I mean, those, like, StarDuck's been absolutely destroying with those feedbacks. I mean, Like, he's just been rapid firing feedbacks onto these Vipers. A good round of fungals though.
Yeah, taking out a couple of units. I feel like StarDuck either misread the situation or maybe got a little bit impatient. He is still fighting with his shield battery range, so it is working out, and he clears the forest, Alyx.
Yeah, there's not much of the Spore Force left. Another couple of good feedbacks onto the Infestors. The trade relatively even, but we have to remember StarDuck is way ahead in supply count due to having half the number of workers.
Yeah, Nuks is building up a very nice mineral bank, but that is not quite ideal for him now.
Yeah,
Might want to look into just, sacrificing a couple of drones at this point.
Yeah, just run them down. Just start spamming spores. Free up supply.
Not gonna lie, I'm just sort of waiting for the point where StarDuck gets rid of every one of his remaining probes, except for one more, maybe. A little bit of a need.
Oh, gets into the feedback range. Good feedbacks there. Going to take out the energy for 2 Infestors. But all these Broodlords either misclick or just die from the High Templar. Gets the High Templar. He gets the High Templar.
I think he just sort of misread the situation there. Beautiful Parabomb being thrown down. The shield batteries are just about out of energy. I don't think they're in range of an overcharge, actually. It's possible to remake it. Listen. We're alternating the servers here. It's Philippines versus Australia. We started in Singapore, we're now in Oz. We're not gonna remake this game.
Yeah. That would have to be something that Nuks has to talk to Demi about. Oh, going for the focus. Oh, but he misclicks.
Yeah, a lot of his infestors just being taken out for the count.
Yeah, probably another ping issue.
And that's also kind of why Nuks is playing so careful here. Cannot afford to. Oh, click himself a little bit out of position like that.
Yeah, he can't micro well. So he can't be relying on plays that require micro. Oh.
Which is what sort of leads us to this this front line.
Yeah, so like again, really looking like WCS 2019 with the Broodlord Infestor versus Sky Toss. Just a stalemate.
What was that? I don't even remember who his opponent was, but I remember way back when, during the Broodlord Infestor era, Ryung, after a game, just typed Imba, 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 Imba.
It's all the disruptor shot.
Such a long game. Very good disruptor shot being thrown down over here.
Oh,
GG is called, and StarDuck gonna be fighting back.
Yeah, Nuks just taps out due to the lag. We'll see if we can get that remade, but we'll have to talk to Demi about that. As he is the admin. But I don't think we're gonna be
he straight up GG'd that game, so
yeah.
He is not looking to remake that specific map.
Yeah, unfortunately.
We're going to our ace match.
Yeah, we are. We are currently
gonna be ooh.
It's Abyssal.
A bit much, yeah, a lot more of a modern map here. Just realized I don't know how to spell Abyssal. I spelled it right the first time. Yes.
My noise suppression isn't picking up the claps, but I'm clapping. I'm so proud of you.
It's hard to tell whether it's
double
S or double L, really.
I'm so proud of you. You have no idea how proud I am of you. Oh my god.
Thank you.
I can't believe it. You've done it.
I did. Who'da thunk?
Not me.
Who'da thunk?
Who me, not me.
I'm just reading chat right now. What year is it? Oh, this is bringing me back to 2013. How did this game go so much longer than it should have been? Thanks, I hate it.
Yeah, that definitely was quite long. That was an extremely long game.
I was straight up expecting Nuks to just take that from the start of the game. I think we mentioned here he kind of had the opportunity to snowball with his 12 pool, but it just was not meant to be. StarDuck really fighting back, really recognizing how to come back in this game. He'd be safe turtling up for long enough, getting enough of an army to secure a third base, and then from there, just getting a healthy enough worker count.
Yeah, it really was.
In.
Yeah, the damage that Nuks was able to do at the beginning could have snowballed to a kill, but instead he decided to play the long game, and unfortunately, it did not work out that way.
That it did not. As we move on here onto our ace match, it is once again gonna be on Abyssal Reef. I remember this map being, it was one of my favorite maps for Terran because it had so many tag positionings. But yeah, we're not
there's so
casting
many
a Terran
walls.
as of yet.
Yeah, look at all those walls you can just kind of sit tanks behind and just shell over the walls.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I also
Just a
loved that
ton
the
of walls.
bodies would just fly.
Yeah, I was about to mention that. Like, it's so cool that the bodies float up.
Yeah, we're under the sea. Something along those lines. As we start things off here, or end things off rather, on Abyssal Reef. LE, our heart fiddly D. You gotta do what you want because StarDuck, he is our player in the top left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the top left-hand corner. The blue Protoss player coming out from the land of Australia. He is representing Clan Fight for Justice. We have StarDuck.
The bottom right-hand corner of the map, our red Zerg player, once again with the pool first. Hailing from the Philippines and playing for Genji. We've got, also on one of the series, Nuks.
I did not quite catch if that was a 12 pool or not, but it was an early-ish pool. It's a pool first build coming out from Nuks, which again, it's kind of common amongst the Filipino scene with the Zerg players. Ender does this quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, just in the Southeast Asian scene in general, you see the pool firsts in ZVP a lot. Just, it can help with avoiding the hatch block. You can use it for early pressure, and we all know how much the Southeast Asians love early pressure.
That they do as Nuks. He's demonstrating.
Yep, he's doing it again.
Already. You'd think that the water would slow these units down, but apparently not.
Yeah, it's like underwater, but not underwater because everything functions normally, which you wouldn't think would happen. You know,
maybe
under the ocean.
Maybe they actually speed things up a bit. No, but then again, you can see like silhouettes of sharks and stuff, and they're swimming at a normal speed. Like over there, yeah.
I couldn't tell you. I'm gonna be real.
It's probably Speed Force or something.
Yeah, some magic space shit.
That's all the explanation you need.
Yeah, some magic space shit. I don't know. Oh!
Cell almost getting surrounded. Yeah, StarDuck really playing a bit of a dangerous game. Actually taking this very seriously, going double Zealot first.
Yeah, he's going for the two Zealots first.
One of them.
Yeah, he doesn't get surrounded by by the Lings and loses a Zealot, but it's still enough to get the Lings off of him, and for him to not lose any buildings.
Yeah, very nicely done. I'm actually remembering now from StarDuck's wall here. Yeah, there are two openings into your natural base. This is another reason why I like this map. It was so easy for Terran to defend with tanks, but so difficult for the other races to do much when it came to multi-prong. I love the Abyssal Reef. I need this back. I need my MMR to go up again.
Yeah, it's like I forget map names so often. You know the map with like the little tiny mineral wall? That's that.
Oh, there were a few of those.
Well, it's like this. No, not Golden Wall. There's, I think it was a similar map pool though. Where there's like two entrances to the natural, and one of them is like
Thunderbird?
A 1 unit wide. No.
Well, the wall's on the wall.
Oh, well, the wall's on the wall. He must have A-clicked instead of hold position. So these things are gonna be working.
A little bit unfortunate. I do believe. Okay, one adept will go out.
He's gonna get the
second one should be on the way. Yeah, this actually powers the Cybercore. Wow, I did not realize.
Yep, that's gonna delay warp gate. Yep, having warp gate delayed like that is gonna suck, and he gets supply block too. There are, however, two adepts here doing a little bit of damage, getting scouting, and Nuks being ballsy, using the drones to surround the adepts.
Yeah, it is a double-edged sword. It does make it easier for the Protoss player to start, target firing down injured drones like that. But on the plus side, you get a little bit of damage done.
Yep, and StarDuck thrown back with a classic build that I know him for quite well. It is, of course, the Gladept build.
You love to see it. Now, Glaive Adepts was not as popular back when Abyssal Reef was still in the map pool, but I vaguely remember stats throwing this in every once in a while on
Yeah,
Abyssal
I mean,
Reef.
this is quite a strong build, so we'll have to see how this map works out with that. You know, with the whole back and forth and
Well,
that.
the third base is very exposed on Abyssal Reef, so
Yeah,
I
that's
will
true.
give it that.
You kind of shoehorned into taking this one because you got this high ground up here for both the natural and the third. Um, and there's 2 entryways in there, so it's pretty easy to attack.
Man, this is why, way back in the day, I think I was still gold at the time, when Abyssal Reef was in the map pool, I just never expanded beyond a second base. It's 2 base all in every game.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that both the natural and the third are on the high ground is nice for defending, you know, an overall push, but defending the third itself, especially early on, is a little bit harder. Since it's, you know, just kind of sticking out there.
And we'll see how StarDuck decides to... Well, we'll see what the results of StarDuck's experiment gives us here. Also going to be following that up with the Dark Shrine. So once
Yeah, the
again,
classic
being...
build.
Yeah, just being very orthodox, shall we say.
I mean, he executes this build incredibly well. It's definitely one of his more signature builds when it comes to these like aggressive builds.
Now, do you know
Like I
that
said,
from
in my group, yeah.
experience?
Yes, not
Getting
from
beat
playing
by him?
against him, but from watching.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I did play against him a few times, and he did absolutely destroy me with this build.
Yeah, that's usually my memories of playing against StarDuck as well.
Yep.
It's getting completely destroyed.
A couple of devs do get surrounded, but he's gonna be able to shade into the main with nothing here to surround them. As he starts
really
working
good use
on
of
this
SimCity as well. Oh, I'm loving how
Oh.
he just sneaks himself into these corners.
Yeah,
Now,
that's
does
a
have
really
the
nice
opportunity to
position.
try to surround this, but not really working out. And again, this third base very exposed. Nux, or StarDuck rather, did not realize it initially, but now that he does, Nux forced to back away, losing 11 of his drones. Look at a worker supply difference to Alyx.
Yeah, and he's gonna
StarDuck's angry.
keep going. He's gonna keep going. He's so good at getting this like drone damage from these attacks, and he realizes now that there are roaches out, and he's not gonna be able to keep that going for long. But it's still enough that he's able to pick off, you know, a couple more drones.
Meanwhile, a couple of DTs I heard swiping around. Question, I could just be crazy. Nope, that is 2 DTs really hammering down this hatchery. Forced to invest in the Spore Crawler, but it's still a while away from burrowing Alyx.
Yeah, it still has to burrow, and there's still a lot of damage being done here. But it does get burrowed, and the detection is there.
But only over there. I don't see a lair here from Nuks just yet. Overseer's still gonna be a whiles off.
Yeah, it's if he plays his movement correctly with these DTs, he's definitely gonna be able to get some damage. And this Spore is gonna go down too. He has to move the Spore in.
Yeah, definitely should. Yeah, as you said, he does move another Spore in. Cancels right at the last second. Nicely done here from Nux.
But yeah, he's gonna keep going back and forth. But there is a Spore here, and like some queens to defend against the prism. So this shouldn't continue too much. Oh, he's just kind of suiciding him in. Trade it out a little bit.
Yeah,
Oh,
Nux is in a pretty shaky... Ooh, almost gets it. Yeah, Nux was in a pretty shaky position for a while this game, but now he's really starting to stabilize. He has really redroned really well, catching up on that worker count, and it's a 3-base Zerg.
Yeah,
This is where you kind of want to be for a while you get your tech up.
Yeah, this late in the game, you really don't want to be on 3 bases. This is Zerg. That really caps your income, it really caps your tech. It's very difficult to go up to hive tech as well. So yeah, we'll have to see how he deals with that.
Meanwhile, as StarDuck just continues to get more and more bases up. Let's move past this. It's a bit of feels bad.
No, StarDuck.
Rip those probes.
Yeah, it is quite unfortunate. Oh no, they could get out.
Yeah,
Oh.
they're back in mine. They're back to mining.
Yeah,
There's
they're
a
just
little
kind
bit
of
of a misrally here with the a little bit of a misrally with the Nexus.
Yeah.
We are starting to get into that mid game. We have to see what tech structure Nux goes for. This is a really good map for Mutas, from what I remember.
Yeah, it could be good for Mutas, but he does know there are DTs, so he's gonna expect the Archons.
Oh, he definitely would. It's really risk reward here. It's kind of hard to magic box against Archons, but man, when you do,
They can really do a lot of damage. Yeah.
really can.
Muta's just
Nidus?
first. Oh, I think he felt.
Interesting.
I think he just wants to end this early because he doesn't want to play a Protoss late game. And this is a general meta nowadays anyways. You tend to try and end the game early before the Protoss can get to that late game Sky Toss, but it is like 10 minutes in the game.
Yeah, we'll have to see if this is a normal Warsaw subway type of Nidus, or if this is just a straight up, I'm gonna Nidus you in your main base, get everything out and all in. It's gonna be kind of difficult though. StarDuck made very good use of his vision.
Yeah, we'll have to see here. As he starts loading it up. He's actually loading up with roaches, so this might be one of the more all-in, you know, Niduses instead of the subway.
Yeah, it's looking that way. Still does want to have a front line, but that Nidus, for now, is primarily going to be used for reinforcements. I say that, but there's always an opportunity for Nuks to go in for a multi-prong here.
Yeah, he definitely could use the multi-prong.
Like so.
Yeah, he's the army in the front, and the Nidus in the back.
And there's only a single stalker to stop that. The roaches are here. There are so many cannons and shield batteries, but this is fine for Nuks. He just needs to distract the main army for long enough for that Nidus to pop up!
And it's up, but there are two immortals over here, though.
Oh, jeez.
Yep.
That was
Focusing
quick.
it down right away. Yeah, focused it down right away, and, you know, he had plenty of immortals here to deal with the roaches. Here comes the Zealot run by. We're gonna do a bit of damage.
Counterattack, and this is a tricky thing, right? When you're going for a Nidus like this or a multi-prong like this, you just leave your own base so exposed.
Yeah, you definitely can. And he's losing quite a few drones here because he chose not to evacuate. But this will get cleaned up.
Just
in a
about.
In a bit.
But again, it's but again, it's definitely fine for StarDuck to just keep this army back whilst he continues to expand, whilst he continues to get his tech up. Nuks trying to hit with his own little roach run by, but this is a solid wall.
Yeah, there's like 3 layers to this wall.
There.
2 layers. There's like 2-3 layers to this wall. So, you know, not very easy to get through. Yeah.
And once again, Nuks trying to go for the multi-prong, but it is realized here from StarDuck. ECT is not even going to let that pop up.
Oh, DT damage is so high. I always forget how much damage they do. Like, the sheer amount of damage they do is insane.
They scale really well, too.
They really do.
I don't want to say DTs are underrated. In fact, I'm not even sure if I want to see more DTs being used, but I'm just saying, players, DT damage is pretty high, and it scales pretty well,
Yeah, the DPS is insane. I don't want you to use them against me.
Yeah, I'm not saying you should use DTs more, but I'm just saying they're pretty good. And speaking of pretty good, it's not just DTs that are very effective. High Templar as well. That's some very nice splash damage that Nuks was not expecting to face.
Yeah, and the immortal count too is pretty decent here. And because of those immortals, here we are. We're seeing the mutas coming out.
Funnily enough, we're getting a late game. Well, late-ish game. I mean, StarDuck is the first player to really invest in his tier 2.5 units, whereas Nuks still kind of in his lair tech. No infestation pit to be seen yet.
His lair was really late because of the adept attack. So he's really been like just locked into this roach tech and is not really able to transition out. So he's going for a quick switch here with the mutas, but we'll see if it works out for him because there is an army coming.
Yeah, StarDuck is maxed out at the moment, or Nuks rather is maxed out at the moment, but it is a Roach Ravager army, not the most ideal. And he's starting to be backed into a corner here. So many immortals, Alyx! And that is the last thing you want to see when you have that many roaches out.
Yeah, and these roaches are such inflated supply too, so he can't really switch into the mutas very easily when he has this many alive, and all those immortals are absolutely destroying the roach count here.
He's actually sandwiching this with his Templar, funnily enough.
Yeah, the Templar flanking attack.
Templar, they're the ones tackling, pinning them to the ground. All these roaches forced into the Nidus just to try to retreat. Once again, going for this main base. But I fear that StarDuck just has way too much here. He can always recall if he needs to, just like so. And where's the defense here for Nuks? It is not here.
Yeah, he recalled to try and defend against the mutas because they were doing a lot of damage to the probes. But oh god, oh the Archons.
GG is called. StarDuck, it looks so shaky for him on Catalyst, but he has clawed his way back. He is going to be your next semifinalist for the evening.
Yep. There it is.
Really good reactive play coming out from StarDuck this series.
Yeah, he really did what he was best at, and I mean, he's a strong defensive macro play. He can play that sky toss, and that is the meta. But he goes back to an old favorite of his, you know, the Glidept attack with the DT follow up, and it works out for him.
It worked out so well.
Mm-hmm.
Again, Abyssal
Mhm.
Reef. I miss this map.
It's a good map. It's a good map.
It's a very good map. I mean, that third base is definitely exposed, which I can sort of see why Zerg players didn't quite like this map at the time. But
Mhm.
I'm just saying, man, as a Terran player, there are a lot of tank positions. I want this map back.
Yeah, there's certainly just so many positions you can just sneak a tank into. You know, just kind of sit over a wall and just pew pew pew. Pew pew. Pew pew pew.
Pew! Well,
Pew.
sometimes it goes pew, sometimes it goes pew.
Pew pew. Pew. You know, that's what StarCraft sounds like.
Yeah. Oh, it really does. It goes like.
Yeah. Yeah, you know. It's just the classic.
Yeah.